Jules Verne, H.G. Wells, and a handful of others were said to be the forefathers of science fiction, particularly steampunk. Until recently, I really never knew how to identify what steampunk was, despite hearing the term used often. Some of you may not know what it is either, so here. Despite not being coined into a term until 1987 by Kevin W. Jeter, it's a subgenre of sci-fi that is rooted heavily in something called retrofuturism. Retrofuturism is when the future is depicted through the perspective of an older era. A great example would be the movie Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow from 2004. The year is 1939, but this fictional version of the dirty 30s is way more technologically advanced than the real 1939, with a plot about humongous robots attacking NYC. Also, 1967's Giant Robo live action, which I think that one should tell its own story if you're looking at the screen right now. Back to steampunk. Along with retrofuturism, it was inspired by where the world, particularly in Europe and Great Britain, was at in the 19th and early 20th centuries. By the mid to late 1800s, the Industrial Revolution had been incorporated into society over a century, and that left creators of art with a good understanding of where this stuff's advancement was at that point and pretty optimistic about where it would go in the future. Electricity is often replaced with the use of steam, which was normal, but is taken to a level of hyper-reality. And that's how steampunk was created. At least that's my deductive reasoning and hypothesis. Majority of these stories took place during the Victorian era of England back when Queen Victoria reigned over the land, and also the Wild Wild Western era of the United States. This is where the inspiration for books like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Around the World in 80 Days or War of the Worlds came from, which of course inspired a lot of classic anime. It's no secret that Nadia was loosely based off 20,000 Leagues and Sherlock Hound inspired off Sherlock Holmes, both series I have reviews for that you could check out. But the thing is, anime is influenced by this stuff way more than I noticed before. Some of the biggest series of all time have took things from this, and it even holds presence in shows that didn't really and don't really to this day get a lot of shine. For instance, 2020's Appare Ranmin was literally an ode to both Victorian aesthetics and the Wild West, but unfortunately no one cared about it. That alone tells me that it's something that Japanese manga and anime creators seem to have an interest in, an interest that really never died since the inception of the medium. I mean, look at the abundance of Ghibli movies from the early 80s up to now and even unknown anime that went for this aesthetic. The blessing of steampunk being used in anime is that we know how ambitious the Japanese can be. So not only do you get all the vintage settings and the steam engine planes and automotives, but you often get magic and sorcery and other fantasy elements in there to take the creativity to unfathomable thresholds. The point to this video really isn't anything other than me bringing awareness to steampunk, and honestly just giving those who never really noticed or understood it or paid attention to it the light bulb to keep an eye open when watching these shows from now on, cause it could become your next favorite niche genre. From flying airships to the Nautilus to simply things like attire characters wear that haven't been seen trendy in our world in almost a century and a half. Cheers to classic steampunk and cheers to more in the future. Like the video, comment down below what y'all want to see next. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Anime Backwhen.